Last Tuesday, I watched a CEO triple their pricing in real time during a 5-minute exercise. Not over months of strategy sessions, not after expensive consultants. 5 minutes. And by the end of this video, you'll have the exact same framework that's generated millions in additional revenue for my clients. I'm David White, and what I'm about to share with you isn't theory from a business school textbook. This is the battle-tested audit that has consistently boosted CEO pricing by 200 to 400%. And you're going to get the 3-step framework, the exact questions I ask my highest paying clients, and the psychological triggers that make prospects say yes to premium pricing without hesitation. But here's what makes this different from every other pricing strategy you've heard. This isn't about raising your rates and hoping for the best. This is about fundamentally repositioning how you present your value so that higher prices become the obvious choice for your ideal clients. Most service providers are trapped in what I call the commodity cage. They describe what they do instead of the transformation they create. They focus on features instead of outcomes. They compete on price instead of value. And every day they leave thousands of dollars on the table because they don't understand the psychology of premium pricing. CEOs I work with break free from this cage using a simple 3-step audit that takes less time than your morning coffee routine. And the results? Well, one client went from charging $5,000 for strategy consulting to $20,000 for the same service. Another moved from $2,000 coaching packages to $8,000 transformation programs. The work itself at the core delivered to clients didn't change. The positioning did. So here's step 1 of the audit. Write your current service description exactly as you present it to prospects right now. Don't edit it. Don't make it sound better. Write it exactly as it appears on your website, in your proposals, or how you explain it in sales conversations. Perhaps have one of those conversations and record it in your phone. Most people write something like, I provide marketing consulting to help businesses grow their online presence. Or, I offer coaching services to help executives improve their leadership skills. Something like that. Sound familiar? All of this is what we call commodity language. It's what every other consultant or coach in your space is saying. And it's not limited to just consultants or coaches. That's just 2 examples. But it's almost across the board in every industry, whether you're selling hardware, software, B2B, B2C. And the problem with this approach is that it puts you in direct competition with everyone else who does market consulting or provides coaching services or whatever else it is that you do. As soon as you lump yourself in the same industry as everyone else, you start comparing yourself, and prospects, customers start comparing you based on price, experience, or credentials instead of the unique value that you bring. So here's what happens when you shift from describing what you do to describing the transformation that you create. Prospects stop comparing you to others and start evaluating whether they want the result that you promise. And this is the foundation. This is the simplicity of premium pricing. And you get to choose the words you use to describe the benefit, the outcome that you'll deliver. Step 2, identify your ideal client's biggest fear. Not their surface level concern, but their deepest, most primal fear about what happens if they don't solve their problem. Most service providers focus on what their clients want to achieve, and that's important. But it's not what drives urgent action. Fear is a more powerful motivator than desire. IBM used the term FUD, fear, uncertainty, doubt. And when you understand what keeps your ideal client awake at 3 a.m., you can position your service as the solution to their most pressing anxiety. For example, a marketing consultant might think their client's biggest fear is not getting enough leads. But dig deeper. What do they really fear? They fear becoming irrelevant in their market, losing competitive advantage, or watching their business slowly decline while competitors thrive. A leadership coach might think their client fears being a bad leader, but the real fear is being exposed as incompetent, losing the respect of their team, or having their career plateau while others advance. When you identify this core fear, you can position your service as the bridge between their current anxious state and their desired confident future state. This is where premium pricing becomes possible, because you're not just providing a service, you're providing peace of mind. So step 3, define the specific transformation you provide. Now, this isn't about listing features or processes. It's about articulating the before and after state of your ideal client. Your transformation statement should follow this formula. I help ideal client from going current problematic state to desired outcome so they can be bigger life or business impact. For example, I help technology CEOs go from being overwhelmed by operational chaos to having predictable, scalable systems so they can focus on strategic growth instead of daily firefighting. Or I help executive women go from feeling invisible in male-dominated boardrooms to commanding respect and influence so they can accelerate their career trajectory and create lasting impact. Notice how these statements create a clear picture of transformation. They're not about what you do, they're about who your client becomes. This is the language of premium positioning. So here's why this audit works so powerfully. It aligns with how the human brain makes purchasing decisions. We don't buy products or services, we buy better versions of ourselves. We buy the story of who we'll become after we solve our problems. When you present your service as a commodity, I do marketing consultancy, you're asking prospects to evaluate your credentials, experience and price against your competitors, and this creates a race to the bottom. But when you present your service as a transformation, I help CEOs go from being overwhelmed by operational chaos to having predictable, scalable systems, you're asking prospects to evaluate whether they want the outcome you promise. This creates a race to the top. The most successful service providers I work with understand this distinction. They don't sell time or expertise. They sell transformation. They don't compete on price. They compete on the clarity and desirability of the outcome they create. Now, let me show you how to implement this immediately. Take your current service description and run it through this filter. Does this sound like something dozens of other people could claim? If yes, you're in commodity territory. Next, research your ideal client's online behavior. What questions are they asking in forums? What concerns do they express in LinkedIn posts? What language do they use to describe their problems? This research will reveal their true fears and desires. Then, craft your transformation statement using the formula I shared. Test it in your next sales conversation. And notice how prospects respond differently when you lead with transformation instead of process. One of my clients made this shift and immediately saw a 40% increase in their close rate, even with higher prices. Another client found that prospects started asking, how do we get started instead of what's your hourly rate? The audit is just the beginning. The real work happens when you systematically apply these principles across your entire client acquisition process, your messaging, your proposals, your sales conversations, your service delivery. If you want to go deeper into this transformation-based approach to premium pricing, I continue this conversation at my Substack, which is at theauthorityfigure.substack.com. And that's where you'll find the advanced strategies, real client case studies, and premium content that takes this foundation to the next level. Or if you want to explore how this applies specifically to your situation, you can book a complimentary authority assessment call with me. We'll analyze your current positioning, identify your biggest opportunities, and create a roadmap for premium pricing in your market. You can book that at calendly.com, and you'll find the link near this video. There are limited slots available to ensure focused, valuable discussions. The choice is yours. Continue competing on price or start commanding premium fees by positioning yourself as the transformation your ideal clients desperately need.